I've got about a 20, I think a 20-minute drive to my kickboxing class. So I wanted to go to talk about why being a man is different. Why being a man with pots is different, okay? Yesterday, I posted a reel and I have to eat a snack before I get there. I haven't eaten breakfast, or I have not eaten since breakfast, which is about 3 hours ago. And this dude came on the short and commented how I was putting women down to prop men up and how women deal with it worse than guys because of PMS or whatever. And so I commented back, this is so tone deaf. You're trying to be, he was trying to white knight. Okay? Look, no matter what gender you are, when you're going through chronic illness, it sucks. Okay? It just sucks. Point blank, period. No matter what gender you are. Let's get that out of the way. But to act as though it's off limits to talk about the gender differences and what it feels like, you know, look, I'm not going to play in this video especially, ever in life, I'm not going to play the games of like gender is a myth and stuff like that. We're going to just go off of like life experience, right? I don't really care about what people identify as. I don't care if women or men take the female or masculine role. What I'm speaking to is men who experience life like me, okay? Women have their own separate set of issues. Men have their separate set of issues. This thing is is dry. Holy crap. And that's what I speak to. Are there set of issues that I identify with, and that other guys like me will identify with. I can't speak in a woman's perspective, nor am I going to pretend to. So, why being a guy with pot syndrome, if you want to get more specific, a straight, cis, half Mexican, half white guy, why it's so much different is that we just deal with this separate set of issues, this separate struggle. If you're someone like me, you're a guy that you understand like your role in society, your role in the family is to lead, protect, provide provision. If that is your role in your relationships, if that is your calling, which for most men it is, then getting diagnosed with chronic illness can be especially terrifying, can be frightening, because you feel as though your ability to do all these things is going to be stripped from you, and you feel helpless, especially for guys who are like tough in nature, right? Who like throughout your life, especially if you were like me where you battled your entire life, um you didn't really have parents around, like you had to fend for yourself a lot of time. It can then be especially daunting because you have nobody to lean on. And whether people want to believe this or not, the majority of people who go through life, like that are men. We don't really have that many places to turn to for help. We're It's rare that we're ever going to find a woman that just wants to take care of us, especially if you're already chronically ill, right? Um, and so the struggle begins. When I was diagnosed with this, um, I was in a different relationship. We were about to have our first baby. My girlfriend at the time did not make any money. Like, just period. She didn't make any money. My parents do not have any money. I don't have people to lean on. Okay? Uh, that's not to say that my mom or my dad wouldn't help where they can or haven't helped where they can. I just want to finish this. That's not to say any of that. But what that is to say is that, especially as a guy, you don't want to cause burden on other people's lives. It's just something innate in you. You don't want to do that. It's like male nature. And every single guy that I work with has this inside of them. It's not like a fairy tale that I've made up. Every guy feels these same things that I feel, that I felt, right? You don't want to burden other people. And what's more is the fact that not only do you not want to burden these people, you don't want to worry these people. And you're expected to kind of figure it out. In life as a man, society is telling us to speak up and speak our feelings and talk about our concerns, our worries, our anxieties, and whatever struggles we're going through. But really, secretly, the hope is that we don't. There's no argument here. If you talk to a man, especially a man like me, and like a man like me talks to a guy who's been told these things, right? Who's been told these things like speak up your problem, blah 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 blah. You will hear 90% of the time that man has somehow been screwed for listening to that advice. Somehow, some way, at some point, if not yet, they will. That's why it is crucial that men find other men that they can confide into. People who can identify with those same issues. People who can relate with those issues. And so to get back to what had happened when I was diagnosed, I had a girlfriend at the time who wasn't making much money, like at all. So if I were to fall chronically ill, like some of these other people I see online, if I were to have fallen chronically ill and been bedridden, we never would have made it. We would have been evicted. We would have been kicked out of our house. We would have had this baby. And there would have been no finances to help. And so man mode, like actual man mode, got flipped in my head. I used to be one of those guys that was 50-50, talk about your feelings. You know the type of guy that I'm talking about. And I'm not trying to get political here, but the more liberal-minded guys, right? I used to be that guy. I used to be very emotional, compassionate, like all these different things. Not to say that I'm not compassionate anymore. I definitely am compassionate. But I used to have all these same thought processes. But then life hit me. Life really hit me. And that was, you got hit with POTS. Your girlfriend doesn't make any money. She's not really willing to go the distance, right? Rightfully so, too. She's pregnant, your family depends on you. People depend on you. Your son who's on his way is going to depend on you. You need to figure out the solution. It sucks that you've gotten this diagnosis. It sucks that everything is panning out the way that it is. However, you have a business that you cannot let fail. You have a family that you cannot fail. You have these people that need you to figure this out. And so man mode got pushed onto me extremely quickly. I realized no one, like this cliche, right? That no one is coming to save you. It's not a cliche when you actually have a life where like something happens where no one is actually going to come and save you. And a common denominator with a lot of these guys that I see that don't like get their POTS figured out is that they don't actually ever have life slap them in the face. And so it sucks. I'm not trying to be unempathetic or, you know, or not sympathetic, whatever, to their situations. They get hit with chronic illness, but they have a backup support system. They have family that has money. They have a girlfriend who's established in a career or something, or a wife that's established in a career. They have the ability to take it easy. They're not in like a poverty building phase, right? At this point in my life, it's not like I wasn't making money and couldn't sustain it, but it was like, oh, I just got hit with this thing that sucks, chronic illness, but I cannot take time off. I literally cannot afford to take time off. I was making good money at the time, somewhere between like $7,000 and $8,000 a month, and especially back then, that was really good money. And about making that kind of money, I get hit with this chronic illness, and a lot of my money is going back into my business. So I need to be at my business to make the man hours, right, in order to build more. I don't have anyone to fall onto. And so it started to affect my business, right? And again, this is one of those things that I see with a lot of these compassionate dudes who like masculinity is toxic, and if you're chronically ill, you don't, like, I don't know, the ones that are like bedridden, bedbound and stuff like that, that don't really take accountability on it, or like not accountability because that's tough, but that aren't forced into a position to change. They have all these things. They have all these support systems, all these reasons that they don't actually have to get it together and get it figured out. They have all that. I didn't have all that. So again, and a lot of times too, with a lot of the guys that I have actually ended up coaching, they actually come from comfortable lives like that, except for like a few of them. But they get sick of the feeling of being useless eventually. They get sick of the feeling of, I'm just going to keep it a buck here, of being a victim and being a pussy. They get sick of that feeling because even guys who are especially, who are especially taken care of, even those guys, at a certain point, they will get to a point where they like get down on themselves because they feel useless. They're not on a mission. They don't have a passion. The only thing that they're doing is laying around. They're using their illness as a reason to not progress in life, or maybe their illness is currently a reason that they can't progress in life because their illness is so progressed that they become so sedentary that now their body is super adapted to it that they can't do anything. Like, it's going to be really difficult to get out. Even those guys eventually get so down on themselves that they want massive change, and this flips the mindset, right? And to reference what I was talking about earlier, when it comes to guys who are told to be emotional and to express their feelings, and that are told like you can chill if you have chronic illness or whatever. You guys, I'm not saying that from a place of never having experience talking to these guys, right? I have coached a lot of guys with POTS syndrome, and every single one of these guys has expressed to me that at some point their girlfriend or wives have gotten sick of it. I just got off a phone call yesterday where this guy told me that his wife still might not believe him. So whether we want to believe the internet nonsense or not, about like people are so compassionate towards men and men need to express and do all this stuff, in real life, it's not real. It's not practical. It's probably, it might be a 50-50 split. But those guys who are on the side that I'm talking about, the 50, are suffering, extremely suffering, right? And that's not good. And those are the guys mostly that I'm going to stick to talking to. Those are the guys that I want to help the most. The ones who seemingly are in the position that I was in. No compassion for the situation for the most part. Need a way out. Have a mission, have a purpose in life, right? Are sick of taking the victim mentality. All these different things. But it's wild to me that we can't see the differences, right? Obviously, women are suffering with this. No one is putting that down whatsoever. Obviously, women suffer with POTS syndrome. Actually, the majority of people are women who suffer with POTS syndrome, and that sucks. But when a guy goes into a doctor's office, when a guy expresses the way he's feeling, when a guy, Bob, is claiming, is talking about the fact that they're feeling a certain way, they're feeling sick, da da da. There's not even close to the amount of resources or compassion that we get compared to a female getting it. Now, let's just talk statistics when it comes to this stuff, right? The majority of people dying with POTS syndrome are women. Number one, the majority prescription drug users in the United States are women. Number two, those two stats should be enough to tell you exactly what to prove exactly what I'm talking about. Those two stats, go look it up right now. AI, ChatGPT, Google, whatever you want to use, go look it up. I mean, most guys won't talk up because of what I'm talking about. They won't speak up, right? And because they haven't found a community of people also who have suffered the same way that they've suffered, the people, so that they don't feel like they have anybody that can relate to them, that they can confide into and be like, oh my gosh, you have experience with what I'm talking about, right? I can already feel the rage coming from some people being like, this isn't true, oh my gosh, I'm compassionate, like all this stuff. You guys, save it. We had a couple of comments come through. Hey, I have POTS too. Sorry, sir, but who exactly are you talking to right now? I'm talking to men specifically with POTS syndrome. Men who have dealt with these issues of people telling them to speak up, people telling them to, you know, voice what they're going through, men who have been told that they need to, be more emotional and drop the masculine, and those types of guys. Or the guys who feel the innate want and need to protect, provide, provision. The ones who still are in touch with their masculine nature but are suffering quietly and want a way out. Those are the men, those are the people that I'm speaking to. Again, that comment that I got just like completely, honestly, it threw me off. I was just like, the reel that I posted yesterday had nothing to do with women. It had nothing to do with putting them down. It had everything to do with, we experience different struggles, and that's okay. Like, it is fine for men and women to experience different struggles with certain things. That's not that's not being, unsympathetic towards women and their struggles. That's just pointing out a reality. We can go even as far as if, we can go as far as to say like, black, white, Mexican, Asians all deal with their their separate set of issues too, and that doesn't make somebody racist or say that you're putting down the other ethnicities for what they go through. It's just acknowledging that people have their different struggles that they deal with on a day to day. People are so retarded now, and just like just so soft that you can't even point out. Just crazy. Just crazy. This world has become a clown world. Genuinely. Clown world. I'm pulling up to my kickboxing right now, so I'm going to stay on for 5 more minutes. But those are the guys that I'm speaking to. I'm passionate about helping men who have gone through the ringer in terms of POTS, and people telling them, speak up and speak your mind and speak your struggles, when secretly deep down, like, people are hoping that they're not actually going to do that. That's why I've created a community of, like, a safe space, if you will, for men to go that have POTS syndrome, and be around other masculine men that, like, are going to make them feel heard and seen, for the things that they're going through, for the struggles that they have, but also keep it real, right? Because men need to keep it real. Men need to hold each other accountable because nobody else does, period. Like, you will find sometimes that girl, right, that will keep you accountable. My girlfriend does that. She holds me accountable. She's amazing. But not everybody has that luxury. Not everybody has that experience. And so that's why I'm doing this. That's why I am doing this live, because again, so many guys have been told to speak up, talk about your struggles, but secretly deep down, people are actually hoping that they don't. Because no matter how you want to spin this, the internet tells you one thing, but real life shows you a whole nother story. And I would know, I'm the one who's on the phone with these men all the time, talking to them about their struggles and hearing the things that they go through and how their wife or their girlfriend wanted them to be more open about their emotions and tell them what's going on. And then next thing you know, they've been left because their wife or girlfriend doesn't believe them, or they're giving them a hard time because they just don't understand why they can't get back to work or they can't do these things. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Because this is real life. It's not the fucking internet. Men are really out here struggling. And there's people like this moron that commented who go on, and you're actually diminishing the struggles that men go through by commenting like that. And a lot of people diminish the struggles that men, like they want to be these, like, again, I'm going to generalize, right? I'm not giving a political stance here, but these liberal subtypes, right? Or these really soft, like compassionate people that are like, men are struggling, care about their struggles, but then they actually go out of their way to diminish what men are going through by many different ways, by many different things that they don't even realize is diminishing men's experience or the male experience. Like, I'm on the phone with these guys. I get to interact with these guys, okay? It's just crazy. Like, you guys are on the internet. You guys get to see the memes. You get to see the comments. And these comments and memes and things that people post, it all sounds super good. It all sounds really good. I agree with a lot of them. But it's just not what happens in real life. It's not practical. It doesn't actually happen. So men have different struggles, dude. Men want to protect, provide, provision. Women do that too. I know a lot of single moms, a lot of really powerful single moms that do the same shit. They're forced into that position. And that sucks. But it's still not like that's like the main thing that they in general are looking for. They want to be there for their children. They want to be nurturing and all these different things, right? Which is amazing. And that's great. But like, guys want to be out in the field providing for their family. They want to be at work. They want to be chasing purpose. They want to be doing these things. They want to be masculine. They want to go to kickboxing and jujitsu like I'm about to do. We have this innate, my son now, right? Just to talk about innate nature of men, right? The nature. My son now does MMA. He was scared to do it at first because he didn't want to get hit. My son sometimes is a little bit more on the emotional side, right? He's a little bit more that, which is totally fine. I love that about him. He's the most compassionate, sweet boy I've ever met in my life. I love that about my son. But the first practice that he went to and he finally got hit, he doesn't get hit in the head. They're too young for that. The first time he got kicked in the stomach, kicked in the leg, he got ground and pound, you know, he got taken down to the ground, and I got to watch. I watched his whole entire being light up. There's just some things that are innate to us, right? It's in our nature. Did someone diminish your experience for one of your clients that you were talking about it today? What's up, dude? It's been a long time. So I posted a reel yesterday, or a short yesterday, where somebody said that I was diminishing women's experience with this because I was speaking to men. And so, no, but I find it very necessary now because I'll be honest with you guys, as I kind of took a chill from this YouTube channel and a chill from coaching POTS, I took a little bit of a chill from that. I got more men speaking to me about how they feel like no one is hearing them. No one is listening. More and more men kept reaching out. And I was denying coaching because I didn't really want to coach POTS, right? I was not that I didn't want to. I was very busy. Like, my business has exploded recently, which is good. But now I have a little bit more downtime, and I'm noticing more, right? I'm taking more calls again. And I'm realizing that, yeah, the nature, like, men are not being heard. We're being told to speak up. We're being told to express, but secretly people don't actually want that. Or eventually it becomes too much from men. Eventually it becomes burdening, right? It becomes annoying. Oh, he's a complainer. I don't believe him. He can't still be sick. Like, whatever it is, right? And so my mission now is I'm not joking when I say this now. I want to become a full-time POTS coach for men, period, specifically. Full-time for men, POTS online coach. That's what I want to do. That's my mission now. I'm in this mentorship program. I'll tell you guys a little bit about what's been going on with my life before I walk in, because I got 7 minutes to get ready. I shut down my gym. The past year I really focused on online coaching. In the mentorship program, they tell you to find a niche, something that you're really good at, something that you're passionate about, blah, blah, blah. Then create a marketing plan based on all these different things, right? It was really good for my business. But slowly, what I started to realize is that I do not care about getting people jacked and shredded anymore. I could care less, right? I've done so much of that. I have a booklet of, I don't even know how many people when it comes to that. I've worked with athletes. I've done this. The thing that I'm really passionate about, and you guys know this if you're longtime subscribers or watchers, is holistic wellness, helping people get from shit, sick, to like actual health and wellness. Like that's what I'm really passionate about. Like having to do the digging, having to get to the root cause, having to like solve the equation, solve the problem, like get to the nitty. Like I want to be scientific about it, right? I like the challenge, right? The putting the pieces to the puzzle. That to me is the most exciting thing. Like getting shredded and jacked, it's easy. I just tell you your macros, I tell you your cardio, I tell you, what to lift. That's easy. This stuff is challenging. It like gets my mind going, right? And so that's actually I've taken the time to kind of figure this out. Like, what does this look like? And I figured it out. Now that's exactly what I'm aiming to do. I don't think that there's really that many men out there. I don't really care that are doing this. There's not that many people focusing just on men with POTS. I need to do it. So that's basically the reason why I've reemerged onto the scene. So that's the idea here. Because I see so many men suffering. So many men are reaching out because they're suffering. And I have the solutions. I can help with the solutions. That's a really cool idea. I love that you are there for the men. Yeah, appreciate it, dude. Somebody needs to be there for the men. So with that being said, guys, my new Instagram is called The POTS Solution. Brand new. I think I have like 29 followers there. Go ahead and follow that. My TikTok is POTS Fit, POTSFIT. I love getting help from POTS women, so I think it's only normal men would love help from men who have the same. Yeah, totally. Exactly. See? Jazan, you know how to see this. You know how to compartmentalize these two things. So I'd love if you guys would go follow that. If you are a man specifically who is suffering with POTS, who is sick of having their feelings diminished, reach out. Reach out on my Instagram. Reach out on my TikTok. DM me. Reach out at jqfit1@gmail.com. Inquire for one-on-one coaching. Every week in this men's group on my app, we are doing 1 to 2 Skype calls per week so that we can all get together, talk about our wins. We can, you guys get to ask your questions to me and the other coach. And yeah, I'm trying to build a big community of men who are suffering, that can be there for each other, that can hold each other accountable. Because as you guys know, if you are a man, we don't just want to be soft-spoken to. Like, we also want the real. And that's what we're there for. We're going to give you the real. We're going to hear you out. We're going to be there for you. We're going to be compassionate. But when you need to hear something, we're going to tell you. If you're being a little bit of a pussy, we're going to tell you, hey, you're being a bit of a pussy here. If you need help with relationship stuff, like, hey, like that type of stuff, like everything, it's all there. It's all going to be there. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I got 3 minutes to get inside and go get some sparring in. So we're going to go inside. We're going to go inside now. Thank you so much for watching. Remember the POTS Solution on Instagram and POTS Fit on TikTok. I should have them both as the same name, but whatever. jqfit1@gmail.com if you do want to inquire on coaching and be a part of this POTS community. And I'll talk to you guys on the next one. I'll probably go live again after this, to be honest, today. Probably like immediately after. So stay tuned. Within the next hour, I'll probably be live again. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out. Goodbye.